grab bag is back. There's stuff in it waiting to come out. I'm Earl at thelogbook.com. Welcome back to Voyages of Shelf Discovery. And it is time once again to dive into the grab bag. Okay, so it's more of a grab box. I'll grant you that. But let's just reach into it, grab something out of it, and see what we get. We get something in a box, something in a fairly substantial box, by the feel of it. And it's oh, whoa, the Keys of Marinus, the Doctor Who box set here, featuring Ian Chesterton. This is a first for the Doctor Who figure line. This is a companion character from the 1960s. And, boy, does that open a can of worms, because, if you suddenly have, Ian to put in the TARDIS, well, then you have, the expectation, at least, that you are at some point also going to have Susan and Barbara, the original TARDIS team, to travel with William Hartnell. Got to point out, as always, the really nice interior artwork that they include in these. They are under absolutely no obligation to do a custom one for each episode that they are building a box set around. But, here we are anyway. Now, I did remember to have scissors on hand, just in case there was something in a box that would require them. Far too many times I have gone to open a Doctor Who figure box set on here, and it has taken far too long, and I'm going to endeavor not to do that to you again. So let's get one of the Vord out. These were the first creations of writer Terry Nation, other than the Daleks, to do battle with the Doctor. And basically, are they guys in diving suits, complete with flippers and just a funky hat to save the BBC budget? Yes, they are. But that doesn't make them any less menacing if they are trying to grab you. Now, it's kind of interesting, they have these kind of handles on their head. Now, let's talk about that, because I am sure there's an element of that had to do with making it easier for the costume people to to pull the helmets, the headpieces off the actors so they could breathe in between takes. I'm sure there is a practical consideration in play there. But over time, and I believe this started in the comics in Doctor Who magazine, it has been decided by some parties that these handles, it's just too much of a coincidence, because the Cybermen, if you remember, have handles to the sides of their head. Well, that, it's too much of a coincidence that the Vord have handles. But these guys stand up really well with these flippered feet, I've got to tell you. And you can, the articulation on these figures is great, so you can angle their ankles and, get them in a pose that they will not fall down. They have very tiny weapons, I should point out, that are kind of like kind of sonic screwdriver-ish in proportion. I am actually going to leave those in the packaging, because I save my packaging. but I fear that it would be far too easy for those to get lost if I took them out. So, but the star attraction here, again, is Ian Chesterton, played by the wonderful William Russell, who is still with us. As I record this, he is still with us. He and Carol Ann Ford are the only surviving members of that original TARDIS team. And now it is known that Character Options kind of does things on the cheap. And they have been known to, reuse parts of bodies of other characters. And so, man in a suit body, this has turned up on the Master, this has turned up, I think it originated in the Primeval figure line, and it has just been reused relentlessly by the Doctor Who figure line. And, that's okay, because that's what Ian wore, at least in his earliest appearances. Although that original TARDIS team, they would all change into something appropriate for where the TARDIS brought them in time and space. So, they got into really lavish, costuming with multi-episode stories such as Marco Polo or The Reign of Terror. So it's, it is so not out of character to have Ian in a suit and tie, because that's how we first meet him. He dressed down in later adventures. He became very much a man of turtleneck action. And I think I dropped one of the strings because Maria is now playing with something at my feet. Maria the cat, ladies and gentlemen. Out of camera shot, but totally pouncing on my toes. Thank you, Maria. Alright, so there we have Ian and the Voord from the Keys of Marinus. That's a marvelous box set, and like I said, it all but obligates Character Options to at some point give us Barbara Wright and Susan Foreman. We'll see what happens. It may take a few years before we have that complete TARDIS team, but the fact that they've gotten Ian out there, knowing that will lead to demand for the other characters, surely they know what they are getting into. I've got my hand on something small back here. That's what she said. Oh, it's Murph! It's Murph! It's a Fansets pin. This is not a magnetic one. This is an actual pin. But it's Murph from Star Trek Discovery. They just recently started doing the character pins for Star Trek Discovery, and there was no way I was not going to add Murph to my collection, or to the Cloak of Geekitude. One of the Cloaks of Geekitude. We will see where Murph ends up. He may end up with Dr. T'Ana from Lower Decks, staring at him like, what the bleep is that? Which is exactly what Dr. T'Ana would say if she met Murph. So, let's reach in and find one more victim. Oh, we are back to the Marvel Retro Legends as always. We have Iron Man. I thought we had opened Iron Man already. But we haven't, have we? Okay. Well, all right, let's open Iron Man. Why not? This was one of the first wave of the Marvel Retro Legends to come out. And the lovely thing about the Marvel Retro Legends, and I've gone on and on about this in previous shows, they're not based on a particular actor. They are based on the original comic artwork, as you saw. Artwork which I am trying very hard not to destroy in the process of opening the figure. But, and, no accessories with this figure because it's Iron Man. What else does he need? And so this is very much 60s, 70s, comics Iron Man. Red and yellow all the way, top to bottom, and just has that face, which reminds me so much of that 1960s animated series called the Marvel Superheroes, which was in syndication well into the 70s, in various forms, sometimes chopped up into little bits, because each day of the week, the Marvel Superheroes series would have an animated adventure focusing on one particular character. One day of the week it was Iron Man. One day of the week it was the Incredible Hulk. One day of the week it was, I think they had Prince Namor the Submariner in there. Way ahead of the MCU on that one. But, and of course Captain America, and I'm trying to remember who the fifth one was. Oh, it was Thor. This is the mighty Thor. Duh. Okay, so, but this reminds me very much of those cartoons, which had these wonderful theme songs, which usually had a very, very high female vocals that just not what you would expect for an intro to an action piece, if you get my drift. So this version of Iron Man takes me back to the comics, and it takes me back to that animation. So, my friends, the grab bag still awaits. It's still got stuff in it, and we will dive back into it again on a future voyage of shelf discovery.